With the latest Virginia Beach Fire Department news updates, here's Master Firefighter Stu Sayer.
Hello everyone and welcome to this latest edition of VBFD News Updates. I'm Master Firefighter Stuart Sayer. 6 operational medical directors across the state of Virginia recently participated in realistic training scenarios here at our Fire and EMS Training Center. The training evolutions included working cardiac arrests, extricating patients from vehicles, decontaminating patients exposed to hazardous materials, and conducting searches in our burn building using artificial smoke. The purpose of this training was to provide the OMDs with insight to the challenges facing first responders before treatment and transport of patients to hospitals. On Friday, November 15th, Hampton Roads was awarded the distinct honor of hosting the 2018 Can-Am Police and Fire Games. The host location was up for grabs between 4 other locations throughout the country. Thanks to the participation of some of our prominent local dignitaries, police and fire personnel throughout our region, and the video produced by the VBFD Multimedia shop, I am pleased to report that we won the judges over and the games will be held right here in Hampton Roads. Stay tuned for future updates regarding the games as we approach the date of the actual event. The construction of new Company 7 is progressing quite well and is in the final stages of completion. The new Company 7 will be located on Columbus Street near Kellerhals Road. It is scheduled to be completed by early 2014. On Wednesday, November 20th at 1400, the dedication and ribbon cutting ceremony for the new Chesapeake Beach Fire and EMS Station 4 was held. Members from the Chesapeake Beach Volunteer Fire and Rescue Squad, past and present, along with members of the VBFD and their retirees, attended this special ceremony. Remarks were given by Fire Chief Steve Cover, EMS Chief Bruce Edwards, Vice Mayor Lewis Jones, and Mayor Will Sessoms. The Virginia Beach Fire Department held its fall promotion and retirement ceremony at the Virginia Beach Fire and EMS Training Center on Wednesday, November 20th at 1700. 8 members were recognized for their years of service. 10 individuals were promoted to the ranks of Captain, Battalion Chief, District Chief, and Deputy Chief. The VBFD would like to wish the retirees a happy and healthy retirement and the promotees many years of continued success. And now a review of some of our recent working incidents. On Tuesday, October 29th, around 1830, Engine 19's crew was dispatched to a residential fire in the 5500 block of Stonehaven Drive in the Charlestown section of the city. Upon arrival, there were visible flames coming from the rear of the home. Engine 19 quickly pulled a hand line, entered the structure, and knocked down the fire. Ladder 9's crew made entry and conducted a primary search with nothing found. The fire was extinguished, but unfortunately not before the structure sustained heavy fire damage. However, no civilian or firefighter injuries were reported. On Thursday, October 31st, around 1500, fire crews responded to a residential fire in the 200 block of Pennsylvania Avenue. Squad 10 and Battalion 3 arrived first on scene. Shortly thereafter, the crew from Engine 23 arrived and immediately assumed an attack position. After extinguishing the main body of fire, they located and knocked down some additional fire found in the attic. There were no civilian or firefighter injuries. On Tuesday, November 6th, around 1625, Engine 18 was dispatched to the report of a residential structure fire in the 4100 block of Rainbow Drive. Upon arrival, crews found a 1-story wood frame home with light smoke showing from attic vents on the Bravo side of the dwelling. Engine 18 discovered that there was a small amount of fire at the electric meter near the Alpha Bravo corner. Light smoke was also discovered throughout the home. Dominion Power was contacted so that the meter could be pulled as a precaution. Engine 18 opened the garage door to provide natural ventilation and to make entry and extinguish a small amount of fire within the wall around the electrical panel. After the fire was out, crews placarded the residents and informed the occupants they couldn't return to the home until the electrical panel was repaired or replaced. There was 1 minor firefighter injury and no civilian injuries reported in this incident. On Monday, November 11th, shortly before 1500, Engine 18 responded to an elevated technical rescue incident involving a worker hanging from a water tower. The worker was snagged on his arresting line and was not able to free himself. He was suspended about 120 feet in the air, high enough where the aerial trucks were just out of reach. A short time later, the worker was captured with the rescuer's main and belay line, then lowered into the bucket on the aerial truck. He was transferred over to EMS for patient care. On Tuesday, November 12th, around 1720, Engine 16 was dispatched to a report of a residential fire in the 500 block of Ben Hogan Drive. Upon arrival, Engine 16's crew found some smoke coming from the residence. A hose line was quickly extended to the rear of the structure after speaking with a resident who informed crews the fire was on the back porch. Engine 16 notified command that there was a fire on the porch that had extended into the attic. Engine 16's crew used the hose line to knock down as much of the fire as possible through the soffit and then handed the hose line through the window to Ladder 9's crew. Engine 16 then entered the structure and proceeded to extinguish what fire remained overhead. There were no injuries reported during this fire. On Tuesday, November 12th, just before 2100, units from Battalion 3 arrived on scene of a reported vehicle entrapment on Monument Drive. The patient was confirmed entrapped, conscious and alert, and complained of neck pain and numbness in her legs. C-spine control was initiated and a side-out style extrication was completed on the driver's side of the vehicle by Squad 10 and Ladder 9. The patient was removed and turned over to EMS for transport. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. On Monday, November 18th, around 2030, units from VBFD, VBEMS, and VBPD responded to a two-vehicle crash with an entrapment at the intersection of River Oak Drive and Indian River Road. The patient was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The crash is under investigation by PD. On Tuesday, November 19th, around 1840, Engine 19 responded to a report of a residential fire in the 5600 block of Joplin Court in the Brandon section of the city. Upon arrival, all residents were exiting the structure and there was minimal smoke and flames coming from the top of the chimney chase on the Bravo Charlie corner. Ladder 9's crew used the aerial to reach the chimney chase. It was cut open and there was a small amount of flames and smoke. The fire was contained to the top exterior of the chimney. Water cans were used to extinguish the fire and overhaul was completed. The entire house was checked for fire extension, none of which was found. There were no firefighter or civilian injuries reported in this incident. On Thursday, November 21st, around 1330, Engine 5 was dispatched to the 2700 block of Holland Road for the report of a vehicle accident with a pin. Upon arrival, crews found a silver SUV lying on the driver's side in the ditch with airbags deployed. An adult male patient was in the driver's seat complaining of chest pain. Engine 5 pulled a hose line to protect the scene and began initial stabilization of the vehicle with step chocks. Access to the patient was not possible initially. It was only when additional units arrived on scene and finished stabilizing the vehicle that access became possible. Once access through the rear window was made, EMS took manual stabilization of the patient's C-spine. Crews assisted with extricating the patient from the vehicle onto a backboard. The patient was then transported to an area hospital for further evaluation. On Sunday, November 24th, around 0900, Engine 5 and Tanker 5 responded to a vehicle fire at the 3700 block of North Landing Road. Crews observed a vehicle parked in the driveway that was fully engulfed in flames. Crews were able to quickly control the fire and prevent it from spreading to any nearby structures. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Later that same afternoon, around 1500, Engine 7 responded to a residential fire in the 5300 block of Lynbrook Landing. Smoke and fire was found coming from the roof of a two-story residence. Engine 7 and Engine 16 entered the structure with two attack lines on the A side through the front door. Engine 7 conducted a search of the first and second floors, while Engine 16 located the fire in the kitchen. The home contained an extremely heavy fire load of household items. The fire was knocked down by Engine 16's crew, and ventilation and overhaul began shortly thereafter. There was no reported civilian or firefighter injuries. The cause of the fire is also under investigation. On Monday, November 25th, around 1615, Ladder 2 responded to a residential fire in the 600 block of South West Grove Road in the Aragona section of the city. Ladder 2 conducted a walk-around and found heavy fire showing from a converted exterior porch, which had been enclosed. Ladder 2's crew forced entry at the front door and conducted a primary search of the house, while Engines 7 and 9 advanced an 1 3/4" attack line. Crews then started pulling ceilings to gain access to the fire in the attic area. The fire was under control and rooftop operations were required to completely extinguish the fire. After the fire was out, crews began overhaul. Here now is Captain Joe Marzatello to give us a brief overview of the incident.
We had fire in the back and fire in the attic. We were encountered by one civilian. Lines were stretched into the front door. Primaries were conducted quickly. Utilities were controlled. And we were inhibited by multiple roofs, 2 and 3 roofs. The fire got in between there, so it took a little while to get it totally out.
There were no firefighter or civilian injuries reported in this incident. And finally, some of you may have noticed more facial hair around the department lately. For those who don't know, it is an effort to raise awareness about prostate, testicular, and other male-oriented cancers by growing out a mustache for the month of November. I encourage each of you who can grow a mustache, and even those who don't do it real well, to show support next year. That wraps up this edition of VBFD News Updates. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Master Firefighter Stuart Sayer. Until next time, stay safe.